So let's check this out. And then I'll put the link to her channel down below.
When a public figure tragically and unexpectedly passes, like Charlie Kirk, I want you to understand that the soul doesn't just simply vanish, it leaves a imprint. Was an image of the man that took the shot, and that he was placed on the top of a building. I was also shown
And
that
I've seen video of
everybody
this.
involved, okay, I see a group of 5 men that were involved with this unaliving of Charlie Kirk, have military background, and that this is politically motivated. But I will let you know that
I said US
see
government,
their
our
military background being in the US military. The man that I see that took the shot is a man that I see as having like auburn, almost a little bit reddish hair. He has a very thin beard. He has light green eyes and pale skin with freckles along his cheek. I also see that the sniper who was on top of the roof that took the shot at Charlie Kirk, that there was a man who had his 6 that was keeping track of anyone that could potentially ID or became aware of their location. I do see that they had like some kind of like walkie-talkie or listening device that was able to understand how police were communicating at the event today. I also see that there were 2 men in the crowd, and that all 5 of these men were connected to another organization of people. And the 2 men that were in the crowd were part of a systems and check on whether they would actually be able to commit the crime and get away. And someone made the call. I see a man that was standing to the right of Charlie Kirk who gave the signal to the sniper to take the shot. So that is 2 men in the crowd, 2 men on top of the roof, and then I see 1 man waiting in a car. Now, the 2 men that were in the crowd used the fear of the crowd to escape without being noticed. There were 2 vehicles that were waiting for 2 groups of the 5 men, and one of the drivers was already in the vehicle, but then I see that there was a sixth person that was in a different vehicle, and that the men split into 2 vehicles. One of the vehicles is a gray SUV, and it's very like unmarked. It looks like an old, like it's not a well-kept SUV. The other car looks like a sedan, and to me, the color of that was white, but I'm also getting the color red. And I know that you guys want 4K vision, but sometimes I have different impressions on what the color could be. That's why these are impressions. They're meant to ask questions. It is not a statement of fact. Now, the next thing that I see is that Charlie Kirk had been under surveillance for weeks. I also see that the FBI has informed Charlie Kirk numerous times of death threats towards him, but that he never had a fear of actually being attacked. It was really insignificant to him. I do believe that this was a political hit, and it is not about gun violence. It was calculated and it was planned to bring MAGA supporters together in order to rally and support the current president. I don't believe that this was about liberal opposition, but again, let the facts and the evidence speak for what the truth is as more information comes out. And in a video that I released this morning, I see that this type of event is part of what will trigger more events in the future. I also want to add that the 2 vehicles that I see, the individuals that were at the location that caused the crime to occur, I believe they went in 2 directions. I actually think one group went into Idaho while the other headed towards Colorado. I think the ultimate destination is for them to meet in Wyoming. And I would be interested to know if it's a remote city outside of Casper. Again, these are just intuitive downloads. Shifting into mediumship, the next thing that I saw is that the moment that Charlie was struck, his soul moved into the afterlife. And I also see that he was met by Archangel Michael, who was there to help protect him from the trauma that he was witnessing. His soul witnessed the crowd fall to the ground